to Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello. Happy Wednesday, friends. It's Denise. Welcome to another edition of Finding Calm in the Chaos. Today, talking about soulmates. Well, I don't know about your soulmate, but I'm talking about my soulmate because it's Mr. Sith. I love Mr. Sith. I was just thinking the other day, so one of the things we've really been working on, just ourselves, is our general chemistry and just getting our relationship back. We like most people have communication issues. I communicate too much. He doesn't communicate at all. Boom. Recipe for disaster. But it's not a recipe for disaster if you actually work on it and talk about it and plan things. And we talk openly about everything. There are no secrets in my house. And we like it that way. We've always kind of been that way. I've been able to tell him a ton of stuff and he's able to tell me. And, sometimes we don't understand each other. So we got to talk it out. And then we come to a conclusion or a meet point and we're good to go. But we're going to talk about chemistry today and just how I felt when, that spark, when you zing, like a Hotel Transylvania, right? With the cartoon, you zing with somebody. When they're special. And do you have that? How do you keep it? How do you know it's gone? Right? Is it real? I will tell you if it's real. Is it intense romantic chemistry? Like, is it fleeting? Like, see you later? Is it just like, it's been a while, so hey. But I kind of knew immediately Mr. Sith was bizarre. He was so strange and unlike any guy I had ever dated. So I was like, yeah, there's something about this guy. I think I'm going to marry him. Immediately. I knew it literally within my first time of actually meeting him confidently that I was probably going to marry him. Yep. But there are certain signals that I had and like indicators that told me that that he was the real deal. It is what it is, right? I'm not a relationship expert, but I actually am in a relationship and I've kept it together for 13 going on 14 years, been together 15. So apparently I'm some sort of expert in my own relationship. I know my signs intimately, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, when you know what to look for, lots of friends ask me, they'll be like, how do you know, like it's the one, all the young peeps? And I'm just like, you just kind of, there's stuff you like look for, it's like reading a book. And it's like written in a language that you understand like 100%. It's like your language, right? There are some signals, I believe, that were intense romantic chemistry pieces between me and Mr. Sith. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about. Whether or not you have found or you have like something that could make like your heart pitter patter when you're with your little significant other or looking for one, what to actually look out for. So for me, it was an unspoken connection. So being in a room full of people, but yet being unexplainably pulled towards one person. Okay. And I'm not saying like, oh, you're in a room and everyone's like, oh my God, look at that hot guy. Not that. Like the awkward one off to the corner, that was Mr. Sith, right? He looked like a caveman because he was doing a St. Baldrick's charity thing. So he decided to grow his hair out and his beard, and of being of Slovakian descent. He looked like Grizzly Adams. If you don't know who that is, for the non-Gen Xers, go ahead and Google that. But like when you have that draw, I felt like I was totally drawn to him. And that is, I think, intuition. Your intuition, my intuition was sensing this potential in him. I knew there was so much more potential than what I was looking at. At least I hoped so. Like we kind of had it out. It wasn't about physical attraction. I can tell you that much, right? He had beautiful eyes. He always did. But it's deeper than that, right? It's this feeling of being drawn to someone. You can't even put your finger on it. Like, I couldn't even figure out why, because he looked like Grizzly Adams. So I'm like, why? I was hoping for St. Baldrick's to come along, which is around St. Patrick's Day. And St. Baldrick's is when you raise money for childhood cancer, and then people shave their heads, people will donate, to raise money and give pledges for them to like shave their heads. So I knew that at this event, it was going to make or break whether or not, because I was going to be able to see what like he actually looked like. And it was like a bonus because he was like super handsome. And I was like, wait, what? Bonus. But I was gravitated towards him, even online. We met online, right? We crossed paths unexpectedly online. We just kind of met up. There was something about his profile picture that was awesome. It was like 5 years old. It was a total catfish. I'm like, you don't look anything like your profile picture. But it's this invisible thread that like pulled me toward him. It defied any logic and reason. I could tell you that. But this unspoken connection, literally, I feel is one of the most compelling signs of intense romantic chemistry. And when you feel it, you'll know, because it's not just like your heart, right? It's like in your gut, right? So pay attention to your gut more than your heart. I'm telling you that, right? Because we don't really give our gut enough credit that it should get. We spend a lot of time ignoring our gut. Number 2, my favorite was I have the most wonderful, comfortable silences with Mr. Sith, because I'm telling you, I know this is surprising, right? But I feel like one of the biggest signs that I was intensely romantically connected to him wasn't about what he said, but just the opposite, what he didn't. Totally silent, because he didn't really talk or take his jacket off for like the first 3 weeks we knew each other. It was an awkward situation, right? So silence was deafening, okay? But you think it would be weird to sit in a room and watch TV with someone with a full winter jacket on, because we met in the fall, I should say. And so, he didn't talk. It was basically just me talking and him occasionally responding. 3 weeks, peeps. It actually was longer than that, but I got him to take his jacket off after a while. But you're scrambling, right? You're scrambling to find anything. Just, you want to fill the void. You don't want quiet, right? But I knew something was special with him because the connection, the silence isn't a void when there's that connection. It's a comfortable space. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoyed being able to sit and not say nothing. And it's actually what made me more connected to him. As strange as that sounds. It's hard to explain, but you're comfortable just existing in each other's company, right? There isn't a need for like constant gabbing, made up conversations, forced conversations. The silence speak to volumes that there was this depth of connection. And so that's something you should look out for. What else do we have? This is going to be a weird one, okay? But like interdependence. But at the same time, independence. I know this is so strange, but so I'm going to try to, so kind of seems counterintuitive, but like, okay, stick with me here, friends, stick with me. I got this, right? I feel like this is a big sign of intense chemistry, because when you could be independent, yet a little interdependent, it basically means like you can stand on your own 2 feet, right? You got your personal space, all that, but you also know that you can lean on each other when it's needed. And that's important, right? But you got to strike that balance between being individuals and then being a pair, being a couple. And I feel like we really respect each other's need for personal growth, for personal like self-expression, but you have to understand that the importance of growing together and supporting each other, that is huge. So there is a delicate balance here, right? But you have to be independent and interdependent all in one. Kind of strange, but true. It's just, I feel like it's been our most crucial element in building a very like healthy, robust relationship. It's something that I never did with any other person prior to Mr. Sith, right? I was never able to find myself in a relationship where I was able to maintain that balance. Okay. And so that's why I had that gut feeling that this was different, right? I'm just not in love with each other, like with him and him with me, but I also respect and I value him as an individual. And I feel that he also respects and values me as an individual. And that's super important. I see a lot of relationships today, even with my nieces and nephews abroad, you know, that they're in these relationships, especially young people, and they become all consumed by the other person. There is no independence. It's all dependence. And that could make for a real unhealthy relationship. And it does. It doesn't it does make for an unhealthy relationship. So finding this, for all the younger people out there, for finding that nice balance between independence and interdependence, respect each other on who you are. They should be building you up and valuing who you are as an individual. And then as two individuals come together, you're able to grow as two people together. That makes you even stronger. Number 4, I can tell you that this was a huge thing for me, is sharing vulnerabilities. And I can probably confidently speak on behalf of Mr. Sith that this also relates to him, and that we really meshed on this. Okay. There is a very, I shared things, and I'm able to be who I really am inside with Mr. Sith. And I know that he has been that same revealing way to me as well. And I've never been that with anybody because I was very untrusting, you know, childhood traumas. Those are other episodes. Listen to the past ones. But there is this quote by C.S. Lewis that says, and this is the quote, "To love it all is to be vulnerable." And, oh, friends, that couldn't be any more true. Okay. That is on the spot truth. But when you share your most innermost fears, dreams, insecurities with someone, and they do that same with you, my friends, there is a unique bond that forms there that is like nothing else. And it's literally entrusting them with a piece of your soul. That is huge. That is deep. You can get severely wounded if anything goes back in that kind of relationship. If somebody is not reciprocating that, you have to be really careful, in my opinion. So, but in my experience, this level of emotional intimacy, I guess, right, often gives you an indicator that there is an intense romantic chemistry. My voice lasted for the whole episode until that time. Duh. It's not about, like, think deeper in this, okay? Because this is really important. It's the last thing I'm going to talk about today. Just saying. I think, right? No, I got a couple more things there. Sorry, my notes are a mess, but I made it happen, right? But with the whole trusting and sharing your insecurities and vulnerabilities, it really, it's about being able to talk about your day or your favorite movie, it's not just that. Okay, not that kind of stuff at all. I mean, sharing like deep, deep things that you only share sometimes in your own mind, or sometimes things you think about telling your, special girlfriends, but you don't for feeling of that it's just too deep and it could be hurt, could be used against you, but you share that with a partner and they share those same vulnerabilities. And then the most sacred part of it all is, for at least for me and Mr. Sith, is that we then keep those vulnerabilities to ourselves. We don't use them as weapons against each other. We don't, we're learning to take those and grow together and protect them. We're protecting each other's vulnerabilities. And that, my friends, is a huge sign that you are romantically connected with somebody. There is some serious chemistry there. I'm going to take a quick break while we're still talking about all this. My notes are a mess. I'm going to try to get them all organized. And we'll go to the endorsement break. See you in a bit. Hey friends, I want to talk to you a little today about our sponsor, which is Pet Matrix. Pet Matrix is a premium canine supplement company, and I chose this company straight off the bat for Buster and Chica. Chica is a 15-year-old Shiba Inu, and Buster is a growing large breed Newfoundland, currently at 17 months. Every ingredient that Pet Matrix chooses has a targeted benefit for your dog. Their supplements deliver natural active ingredients through a revolutionary process that they call cell matrix delivery. By applying science and including bioactive peptides in their human-grade all-natural recipes, they're able to target a dog's specific needs, plus provide the benefit nature intended. Now, I use the Think for Chica and Buster. It is a cognitive and neural support supplement. I use the Protect for Buster as well, and that is an immune and gut support. And then I also use the Move for both of them, Chica being older and Buster with growing large bones, an anti-inflammatory and mobility support supplement. If you want to check out Pet Matrix, you can check them out at petmatrix.com. That's PETMATRX.com. And you can use Buster Sith at promo for 20% off. Again, that's Buster, BUSTER, Sith, SITH, no spaces, and get 20% off your order. Hello. Oh, big thank yous to our endorsement sponsors, always Pet Matrix. Appreciate you all. Jumping back into soulmates, things that happen when I feel that I had the connection with Mr. Sith, the things that we really bonded on, that things that happened that I knew he was the one. Okay. And I knew he was the one from the very first time I saw him, believe it or not. But as we spent more time together, all of these things are the things that just solidified that he was the one. And I waited 40 years. It was a long time. The fifth one is Time Flies. I kind of made my notes better for you guys, so I'm not rambling, but I like rambling. I feel like I'm a good rambler. But all right, time flies. When you're with someone and you spend hours I know we all got best girlfriends like this. Okay. But have you ever spent hours with someone and then you look at your phone and realize that it felt like a couple minutes, but you've been there for 6 hours? Seriously? I have friends like that. Christy, Trish, Leslie, all of them peeps. There's more, but those are the ones that came to mind. Okay. That is a sign of a connection. But when you're doing that with someone who you're looking at to be a significant other, that is a sign of intense romantic chemistry. And when you're genuinely, not both, okay. When you're genuinely connected with someone, time seems to stop, right? You're in a bubble. And it's just you guys and everything's flying around you. And that's awesome. Hours feel like, a few minutes, and every moment spent together is cherished. You just enjoy it, right? There's never enough time, but yet every second is a memory that you guys are etching, right? not just into your memories, but in your heart, because you're getting pulled closer and closer. And I have found that when this timeless quality is in my life with someone, that those are keeper friends. And it was the first time I ever felt it with a man. And so I knew that Mr. Sith was a keeper because I felt like that was a sure sign of a deep connection. And so I'm like, you're sticking around, buddy, whether you like it or not. But you might want to consider that. If the world outside you is ceasing to exist and it's just the two of you, y'all might be connected. Just saying. Here's another one. Number 6, mutual respect. Okay. I will tell you this. Maya Angelou once said, I do not trust people who don't love themselves and yet tell me I love you. I can't even tell you how deep that quote goes, guys. When you have PTSD and childhood trauma, like, wow, it goes deep. Think about that. I'm going to say it again because for the people in the back. I do not trust people who don't love themselves and yet tell me I love you. That's Maya Angelou, not me. Just saying. But that is a wise ass quote, peeps. Because it holds, I mean, when you think about it, it holds valuable insight into relationships. Okay? Because an intense romantic chemistry isn't just about like sparks and butterflies, which is why so many damn people get divorced. Okay? I told Mr. Sith till death do us part or I kill you. I'm not joking. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. You know what I'm saying? But it's also about this mutual respect. When you value each other's thoughts, your feelings, your boundaries, your dreams, it creates this foundation of trust, a foundation of understanding, okay? Respect is the cornerstone of any lasting romantic connection. And I know this because I have had zero respect from any romantic relationship prior to Mr. Sith. And I can confidently say that is sad as heck. It is, but I did not. If you find someone like I did who recognizes your worth, treats you with the dignity you deserve while you're doing the same for them, that is a clear sign, my friends, of a romantic chemistry, an intense one. Okay. Remember, like, love isn't just about feeling good, because there are going to be ups and downs, right? Through sickness and through health, right? Rich and poor, ups and downs. That's what that means. Okay. It's not about just feeling good. It's about doing good for each other, building each other up. Right? You're confiding. This person is a soulmate. You are in your whole purpose. I feel like my whole purpose is to build Mr. Sith and allow him and enforce him, support, not enforce him, but like support, enforce the message that he could be anything he wants to be. He could do those projects. He could do that. He could do this side project. He could take that contract job. He can do all these things. It's my job to build him to the best that he could even dream to be. And he has always supported every endeavor I've ever came. And some of them are loony peeps. And he will support me and never say a peep. Okay? 7, you argue, but you also make up. Okay, listen, this is not a movie scene. I'm just telling you right now, but it's a reality of a strong relationship. Everybody fights. It is okay to have a disagreement with somebody. And I don't mean like fight, like you guys are like throwing chairs at each other and you're fist fighting. Okay. No, you need to learn how to you will have a respectful disagreement and an argument about something. Okay. But then after that, right, you fight, you argue, and then most importantly, you make up. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes now I have to tell them, You know what? You really triggered me that when you said this, and I apologize because, yeah, he triggered me. I just said you did this and he triggered me. But I'm sorry that I didn't control my trigger when I knew that that was a trigger. And I'm sorry. And I'm going to work on doing better next time to not react that way and find a way to do it so that we can readdress this issue and it not be such a soft spot for me. Period. Now, we're still working on getting Mr. Sith to speak more about his stuff, but he's come like miles, okay? But having disagreements is not a sign of a weak relationship, right? On the contrary, it shows that you feel comfortable expressing your thoughts and your feelings, okay? In a healthy way, right? It indicates that you're not afraid to rock the boat because you trust that your bond is strong enough to weather the storm. There will be storms, people. Sometimes you're like, we're in a typhoon. What are we getting out of this damn thing? But there's always light at the end. The storm always stops. If you just maintain your partnership and your trust in each other and we do all these things out of respect, because it is a true chemistry between us. It's crucial that you handle the arguments, but it's also crucial how you handle these arguments. That's what we have been working on strongly. Do you listen to each other? That involves Denise. Do you try to understand their point of view? That also involves Denise. And most importantly, do you apologize when you're wrong? That involves Denise and Mr. Seth. He's still working on it. I'm still working on it, but we're making it happen. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to keep working on it. That's a relationship. Working on it and growing together. It's amazing, right? Do you apologize when you're wrong? Yes. Well, then, despite like an occasional disagreement, there's going to be the intense romantic chemistry. It'll be fine. It's okay. You just got to work through it all, because at the end of the day, it's not about never having conflicts. Okay. It's about overcoming them together. Okay. That's what you got to do. You know, relationship dance is complex. Okay. It's filled with all of these ups and downs that sometimes like literally defy logic. Did you ever like be in a relationship or hear somebody who has been in a very strong, like romantic relationship and they're just like, he just or she just makes me crazy? Yeah, it defies logic, literally. But when you're in tune with yourself and the person you're with, you start noticing these signs, right? That we just talked about today. They become these guiding lights that will bring you and guide you. There you go. Guiding lights that guide you, Denise, towards this deeper understanding of the connection that the two of you have together. They're not signs that are boxes to be checked off a checklist. Okay. These are things that were huge indicators for me and Mr. Sith. They might be huge indicators for you. It just means that you have a solid relationship. Maybe you're in a low point right now in your relationship, or you're looking for a relationship. These are just all reminders that these are things to look for and to fall back on, because we all felt them at one point or a time. And if you didn't, these are things to look for, so that if this doesn't come out in a relationship, any of these things, then you could mark that as a yellow or red flag and be like, maybe I need to step away from this, because it's not reciprocal. And it's not really something that I want in a relationship. I want a mutual and mutually respecting relationship. And, you know, I hope that any of these things served as like a guide for you, you know, on your journey in finding love and a connection. And I hope that everybody out there finds a relationship like I have with Mr. Sith. And I know I have so many friends who have wonderful relationships. They drive us crazy, but at the same time, I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's all we got for today, peeps. You have an amazing Wednesday, and I'll see you Saturday. And until then, lead with kindness. Bye.